Hi everybody, it's Greg with Prickrell Consulting. Nice to see you again. Today I'm going to address a topic that quite frankly drives me a little bit nuts, and it has to do with the relationship of product management to the problem and solution spaces. So let's do some quick definitions. Problem space is just all the stuff that has to do with problems, and problems are unwanted conditions. There's an independent solution space that describes all the stuff that has to do with solutions. So solutions address problems. That's the relationship. And it turns out that it can be very important for product managers to separate these two. And you should make sure that you really understand the problem you're solving deeply before you just jump to some conclusion about what the solution should be. And it should be fairly obvious that products are part of the solution space. A product solves problems for the market and for our customers. But there are people, I read in blogs, I see in books, that say that product management really belongs in the problem domain, and that engineering are the people who come up with the solutions. And all I can tell you is wrong. So I'm going to give you a couple of lines of reasoning around that, one just kind of simple logic, one based on experience. But when I hear somebody say that, I want to ask them, if product managers belong in the problem space, then why aren't we just called problem managers? Yeah, that's what I thought. So we are product managers. We manage products which belong in the solution space, which means we don't have the luxury of just understanding the problem. We have to have a very strong opinion about the solution. In terms of experience, I can share something that happened to me. I joined a company and there was a special group called Product Definition. They weren't product managers. It was an interesting role. They would go out, they would talk to customers, they would look at markets, and they would come up with a document that, to my eyes, was essentially a marketing requirements document, an MRD. They would hand that off to engineering, and then they would go out trying to figure out what should be in the next release. And of course, when they showed up several months later to look at what engineering had built, it didn't really resemble what they expected. And that really drove home to me that as a product manager, you have to be engaged throughout the entire development process. And you have to understand what should be built. You have to describe it with enough detail so that engineering can then figure out how to build it. So you as a product manager really have to bridge these worlds. You have to first understand the problem very deeply. If you search on problem profile on my blog, you will find a tool you can use to help you understand problems better. Then you have to pick the best solution and you have to describe it with enough detail so that engineering can figure out how to build it. So thanks again for your time. See you next week.